Here we have Chad. So good things. You got a pretty good reach here. So good extension. Body position is good. So you're streamlined in the water. Your hips are not too low, or your hips are following along the path that your upper body's taking. Things that could be improved from viewing you above the water. Just about everybody I watch has room for improvement on their extension. It just takes continued practice, thinking about reaching long or reaching out as far in front of you as possible, within reason. You don't want to glide. You want to extend as far and then begin your stroke. Your rotation could be a little better. So especially on that right side, your right arm isn't extending, your right shoulder isn't extending as well as it could. So the rotation is important from the standpoint of streamline. Again, for that brief second when you're reaching out in front of you, you'll have a very hydrodynamic profile to the front of the water, or to the water that you present. And then you're cutting your strokes a little short. You can see how you're finishing right around your hips. You can go ahead and push through all the way, so you want to finish each stroke as well as possible. It's not the most powerful part of the stroke, but you will get some propulsion out of that. So what I look at here is, do your hips and legs stay in the same line that your upper body does? And they are. We look at your rotation, so you notice how not a whole bunch of rotation, and what I view there is forward shoulder under your face, or kind of under the water. Finishing arm or finishing shoulder well above. Now you don't want to rotate just for rotation's sake. You want to rotate in order to be streamlined. And then what we look at here in the front, head position, does your head bob up and down, and where do your hands enter, and where do your arms extend to? And then underwater. So this is where we break down the underwater pull a little more. You can see your kick is pretty good. Your ankles are fairly flexible, so a relative non-issue as far as triathlon goes. Having a good kick is always important. But what's going on with your stroke underwater? So this is a sort of catch at the beginning, that high elbow catch, which we talked a lot about. And then your elbow leads the stroke back. So you do catch at the beginning, at least with your right arms, and somewhat with your left arm, and then the elbow leads the stroke back. So what's going on is you're giving up leverage once you really start to pull. So you're going to want to keep working on that catch angle. And then here we look at how what line you pull through the water there. You can see you were pretty wide. I generally tell people to stay wide. You might have been slightly too wide. That's something you can play with. You pull in a little closer under your body, not all the way under, but maybe just slightly closer than you were on that front angle. And the only way to really tell how things affect your stroke is to time it. So time yourself at a 50 or at 100, swimming various ways. Now here, this is either catch-up drill or just trying to extend more fully. So you can see you are extending pretty well here, and by virtue of that, you wind up with a slightly better rotation or streamlined position. And you're also finishing the strokes here, so we must have discussed that. A little short on that left one. See how your left arm comes out a little short? You want to push all the way through.
This is working on the catch.
All right, I believe here we're working on the catch. So you're getting a pretty good extension now. And you can see, if you watch this and then you go back and watch the early swimming, you can see the difference in the sort of catch, even though we're looking at it from above water. The angle that you'll see is that your hand and forearm will wind up at a different angle or different line than your upper arm as you pull back. Your right arm was definitely getting a pretty good catch. The left arm is slipping through the water here. The elbow is leading that stroke back. If you can kind of freeze frame this and watch that frame by frame. Alright, and then the always fun one-arm drill. So what you would want to see here from above water, that pull was a good one. That was pretty good. You want to see that hand and forearm basically disappear from view from the side if we were looking from this angle. And that would indicate that your hand and forearm have taken a vertical position relative to the bottom of the pool, aka high elbow catch. So your left arm is going to need more work than your right arm. So your right arm is doing a better catch. Your left arm is slipping more through the water. A lot of one-arm drill will be good. The catch-up drill. If you guys order a set of those swim cords with paddles, y'all can practice that. That'd be pretty helpful. So frame by frame. Good extension. You could rotate more onto your side though. And then you start pulling. So you can see a slight angle on the hand there, and then a bit of an angle on the hand and forearm here relative to the upper arm. That's pretty good right there. That's the sort of angle we're looking for, high elbow. And then the elbow starts to fall down or lead the stroke back. So right when you saw that elbow sort of give up a little bit, that's when you lose some leverage. All right, and then the left arm. Again, extension, rotation could be a little better, but that's not bad. And then you start pulling. So a bit of the high elbow there, but the elbow is more or less leading the stroke through, as you can see. So the left just needs a little more work than the right. Pretty good though.